The story ignites on a blazingly sun-drenched beach, where the roar of engines and the spray of sand define the pure exhilaration experienced by two lifelong friends. They carve through the golden grains on their motorbikes, each twist of the throttle pulling them deeper into the blissful oblivion of the ride. Yet, this intoxicating freedom is abruptly shattered when one of them, caught in a moment of reckless abandon, takes a catastrophic spill. Unbeknownst to him, the seemingly inert expanse of sand conceals a primal, prehistoric predator, its senses acutely tuned to the slightest tremor. As he desperately wrestles with his stubborn machine, attempting to coax it back to life, the earth itself seems to convulse. With a thunderous roar, a colossal beast erupts from the depths, its massive jaws clamping down in an instant. The unfortunate biker is snatched, swallowed whole, and vanishes without a trace into the vast, indifferent expanse of the sands. Mere minutes later, his companion arrives, a knot of unease tightening in his gut. The silence is deafening, broken only by the gentle lapping of waves. He finds only the abandoned helmet, half buried, and the fallen motorbike, a grim testament to the sudden disappearance. As his hand reaches instinctively for a bright, distinctive flag firmly planted in the sand, a sight so utterly terrifying sends a bone-chilling jolt through him, a dark, menacing fin, not of a shark in water, but cutting through the sand with unnatural speed and precision, heading directly for him. Panic seizes him. He scrambles to escape, his limbs flailing, but his footing betrays him, sending him tumbling. Desperately, he claws his way forward, dragging himself through the abrasive sand. But the monstrous sand shark is relentlessly swift. It bursts forth from its subterranean lair and devours him alive, leaving no time for a scream, only a choked gurgle lost to the wind. The scene shifts dramatically to a quaint, seemingly tranquil coastal town, an idyllic picture of seaside serenity, its small population living in quiet harmony. However, this charming veneer hides a subtle oppression. The town is firmly under the thumb of Jimmy, the mayor's entitled son, who believes his lineage grants him absolute dominion over every event and decision on the island. His word is law, and his whims dictate the town's calendar. Meanwhile, two dedicated local officers, John and Brenda, find their routine disturbed by a perplexing and sinister case, the investigation into the disappearance of the two bikers. Their search yields a gruesome discovery, a severed head, an undeniable and horrifying confirmation that these men were not merely lost, but brutally murdered. A peculiar, unnaturally large trail imprinted in the sand strongly suggests animal involvement, prompting them to report their grim findings to the mayor. Back at the mayor's bustling office, Jimmy, oblivious to the escalating horror, is enthusiastically pitching his pet project, a grand festival planned for White Sand Beach. He paints a vivid picture of economic prosperity, assuring everyone it will be a major tourist draw, particularly appealing to students and young people seeking adventure. But Brenda, her mind still reeling from the biker's horrific demise, finds herself increasingly disturbed. Driven by a nagging suspicion, she contacts Sandy, a local veterinarian, hoping her scientific expertise can shed much-needed light on the peculiar circumstances surrounding the deaths. That afternoon, Jimmy, accompanied by his 3 eager assistants, makes his way to White Sand Beach, scouting the prime location for his envisioned festival. The air hums with the joyful shouts of a surfer, blissfully riding the crest of a wave. Suddenly, the idyllic scene shatters. A giant, grotesque shark, not from the ocean's depths but from the sandy seabed, lunges with terrifying speed, killing him instantly. His friend on the shore screams in an agonizing mix of horror and disbelief as John and Brenda, alerted by the commotion, rush to her aid. But they are too late. The predatory sand shark resurfaces with chilling speed, claiming her life right before their horrified eyes.
Sharks can't swim in the sand.
I saw it!
Pretty much shallow water stuff, right?
That's gonna be bad for business.
The mayor's office transforms into a crucible of fear and anger. Worried residents, their faces etched with anxiety, demand immediate answers after 2 more people have been so brutally devoured by these prehistoric, unseen sharks. Brenda and John emphasize the sheer savagery of the attacks, painting a grim picture of victims reduced to mere body parts, their fates sealed by an unimaginable force. Sandy arrives, a silent, observant presence amidst the heated discussion, her scientific mind already processing the terrifying implications. The mayor, his face a mask of conflict, is visibly hesitant to close the beaches, the specter of economic ruin looming large over his decision. Just then, a grizzled man named Angus bursts in, his voice booming with self-assurance, claiming to have caught the very beast responsible. He confidently identifies it as a sand shark and brazenly offers to capture another for a hefty sum of $10,000. However, the mayor, perhaps swayed by the calm authority of science, appears to put more faith in Sandy's measured, scientific approach. Unfazed by the chaos, Sandy begins her meticulous examination of the victim's gruesome remains in her lab, the pieces of the puzzle slowly coming together. As night falls, a palpable tension descends upon the town. Two intrepid men, driven by a misguided sense of bravado or desperation, venture onto the desolate beach in a small rubber boat, their intentions clear: to hunt for the elusive sand sharks themselves. But the vicious creatures are superior hunters. The moment their presence is detected, the sand shark swiftly finds them, initiating a terrifying chase across the moonlit sand. Despite their frantic, desperate escape attempts, paddling with all their might, the shark is relentlessly fast, its pursuit unwavering, ultimately pulling them both to their watery, or rather, sandy, graves. The next day, Brenda, her expression grim, brings Sandy to inspect the latest scene of devastation. All they find is the tattered rubber boat, its flimsy structure ripped apart, with a single, horrifically severed human wrist still attached. Sandy, her scientific detachment unwavering, carefully extracts shark teeth embedded deep within the grim remains. Back in her sterile lab, she confirms they are indeed shark teeth, but their unusual structure suggests a terrifying truth: they possess the capacity to grow even larger, far exceeding the size of typical adult shark teeth. At the very same moment, Brenda's radio crackles to life with a startling message from John: someone has managed to catch a massive shark. John and Sandy race to the scene, their hopes momentarily buoyed. However, Sandy's expertise quickly dashes their optimism. She immediately recognizes it as an ordinary great white shark, a powerful predator, but not the elusive, terrifying sand shark they are after. While it is undeniably an adult, its teeth bear no resemblance whatsoever to the unique dental structure she found on the victims. The true threat remains at large, unseen, and utterly deadly. That night, the veil of deception begins to lift. Brenda, her resolve firm, brings Jimmy to the police station. It's revealed that he had orchestrating a deceptive charade, paying people to stage the capture of a fake shark, a desperate attempt to convince everyone that the sand shark threat was over and the beaches were safe. John, his face etched with disgust, moves to arrest Jimmy's accomplices, only to discover a chilling truth: they are the very same two men who tragically died in the rubber boat the night before, victims of Jimmy's callous disregard for safety. Meanwhile, on another, more remote part of the beach, Sandy is engaged in a perilous experiment, a calculated risk driven by scientific curiosity. She deliberately drips fresh blood onto the pristine sand, a potent lure designed to entice the elusive sand sharks. And just as she suspected, a dark, menacing fin emerges, circling her with predatory intent. Terrified but validated, Sandy flees to John, relaying her terrifying confirmation. The mayor arrives, his face a mixture of anger and resignation, finally prohibiting Jimmy from holding his ill-fated festival, unaware that his own end is imminent. Suddenly, with a terrifying eruption, a sand shark breaches the sand and attacks him, killing him instantly in a spray of blood and sand.
Sandy! Sandy!
John, go!
Come on, come on!
What kind of leader would I be if I allowed this monster out there? It is our civic duty to close this beach. So this beast is
Hey! Pop! What?
Elsewhere, one of Jimmy's drunken, oblivious men, headphones firmly clamped over his ears, is attempting to connect electrical cables on the beach, his senses dulled by alcohol and music. A colossal shark leaps out of the sand, but as fate would have it, the surge of electricity from the exposed cables causes it to explode into pieces, a bizarre and unexpected twist of fate that offers a fleeting moment of victory. The following day, against all logical reason, Jimmy is ecstatic, almost maniacal, ready to kick off his dream festival, convinced the shark menace is gone for good. In the lab, Sandy, her brow furrowed in concentration, meticulously examines the fragmented shark remains from the previous night's explosion. She reaches a chilling new conclusion: the exploded giant shark was not the alpha predator, but merely a baby sand shark. The mother, she's now terrifyingly sure, is still out there, far more vicious, far more massive, and undeniably enraged. And worse, she has no idea how long these creatures have been breeding in the subterranean sands or the sheer number of offspring there might be lurking beneath their feet. The unique, non-fish-like texture of the shark meat she's observed explains their incredible and unsettling adaptability to land, their ability to navigate the sand as if it were water. But Jimmy, now completely unhinged without his father's restraining hand, is utterly uncontrollable. He vehemently refuses to listen to Sandy or John, his mind set on proceeding with the White Sand Beach Festival at all costs. The weekend arrives, and the beach is, predictably, packed with joyous, unsuspecting visitors, their laughter echoing across the waves. Suddenly, with a horrifying rupture of the earth, a sand shark erupts from the ground, snatching a vacationer in its massive jaws. Panic erupts, a wave of primal fear spreading like wildfire through the crowd as more sharks surface, drawn by the vibrations of the fleeing masses. It's a feeding frenzy, a gruesome party for the sharks. Brenda becomes one of the tragic victims, her body horrifically torn apart by the relentless predators. Jimmy watches in stunned horror, utterly helpless, his ambitious dream transformed into a nightmare.
Everyone off the beach now, it's not safe. Off the beach! I smell bacon!
Sandy and John are trapped, forced to climb onto a precarious rock formation for safety, surrounded by the terrifying predators, their only hope a desperate wait for rescue. Just then, a glimmer of hope appears. Angus materializes on the white sand, a long-barreled, formidable weapon clutched in his hands, his appearance a timely salvation. Only 4 of them remain, grim survivors in a world turned upside down. Determined to finally put an end to the terror, the 4 survivors, Sandy, John, Jimmy, and Angus, devise a desperate, audacious plan to lure the remaining sharks from their hidden nests. Sandy, with her profound scientific understanding, explains that sand sharks are highly sensitive to sound and vibration, their primary means of sensing prey through the sand. They set up powerful speakers, cranking the volume to deafening levels, and strategically bait the area with fresh blood, a macabre invitation. Angus, ready with his flamethrower, a terrifying weapon promising 2000 degrees Celsius flames, positions himself for the kill. True to Sandy's theory, the sand sharks quickly emerge, drawn by the overwhelming sonic assault, circling the speaker with predatory anticipation. But then, a cruel twist of fate, the speaker cable breaks, silencing the lure. Jimmy, driven by a flicker of unexpected bravery and perhaps a desperate need for redemption, heroically goes to reconnect it. He fumbles with the wires, his hands trembling, unable to fix them. A realization dawns on him, a profound acceptance of his impending doom. He resigns himself to his fate, understanding that he must become a sacrifice for the greater good. As the sharks swarm him, a chaotic maelstrom of fins and teeth, Angus seizes the opportunity, unleashing a torrent of searing flame. The sand sharks ignite, their monstrous forms consumed by fire, burning to death in a gruesome spectacle. A wave of relief washes over the survivors. They've won, or so they believe. But their victory is agonizingly short-lived. A chilling realization strikes Sandy: all the sharks they'd killed were just babies. From behind the towering sand dunes, a monstrous mother shark emerges, a creature of unimaginable size and ferocity, leaping through the air with terrifying speed to pounce on Angus, killing him instantly with a single, brutal blow. Sandy and John, the last 2 survivors, retreat desperately into a nearby hut, their minds racing, a final, desperate plan forming. They quickly rig a bomb. As they leap clear, the hut explodes in a thunderous roar, and the monstrous mother sand shark, caught squarely in the blast, perishes in a fiery inferno. The terror of the sand sharks on White Sand Beach is finally over. Sandy and John are the sole, traumatized survivors of this deadly ordeal, forever marked by the horrific events they have endured. The movie ends, leaving a lingering sense of relief, but also a stark reminder of the primal forces that can lurk beneath the surface. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.